always be ready with a backup plan. You may be thinking that once you've decided to practice self-discipline, it would be smooth sailing. I know that this seems kind of simplistic or even dumb, but let's be honest here. When we make plans, we often think this way. It may not be obvious to us, but when we look at how we respond to unforeseen circumstances or curveballs that life throws our way, this is our response. It's as if we got blindsided. It never occurred to us that challenges will come. Make no mistake, when you're trying to practice self-discipline, you're doing something that is not in your nature. Your nature is to take the easy way out, to run towards pleasure, and run away from pain. That is human nature. That's the way we're wired. You're trying to do something different. You're trying to delay gratification and undergo discomfort now so that you can get a massive reward in the future. Not surprisingly, when people are hit with situations that they didn't anticipate, they are more likely to quit. It hits them from left field. It's such a surprise that it robs them of their resolve. The better approach is to use the Gallwitzer technique. In studies conducted in 1997 by the psychologist Peter Gallwitzer, he had study participants give themselves certain if-then statements that would enable them to survive all sorts of unintended, unforeseen, and unplanned circumstances. This is called the implementation intention. Basically, people would work towards a certain goal, but they would give themselves if-then statements if they cannot achieve that goal for some reason. By having an advanced plan in place, they are not caught by surprise and their willpower is preserved. According to Peter Gallwitzer, this is actually the key to success. When you pursue your plans and you get hit by surprises, your willpower takes a hit. You don't know what to do. You're confused, and you spend a lot of time diluting your willpower among a wide range of options. By the time the right option becomes clear, you don't have much willpower left. This reduces your resolve. You feel stuck, discouraged, or oftentimes defeated. By having if-then statements planned ahead of time, you're ready to respond regardless of how things turn out. Whether you're waiting or whether you encounter strong opposition, you have a ready plan. Instead of losing steam and just freezing, you find a way around the problem. And before you know it, you still end up at your intended destination. This approach was tested in a study that appeared in the journal Psychology and Health in March 2009. Study participants were tested ahead of time regarding their intention, behavior, and planning regarding consuming more fruits. It turns out that participants who framed their plans in terms of if-then statements are more likely to eat more fruit than those who just have a more generalized plan of increasing their fruit consumption. The reason for this is that when all sorts of problems appeared, the people who have if-then plans are able to adjust better and stick with their goal. Step-by-step guide to using backup plans. Step number 1. Create implementation intentions. First, you need to identify the actions that you're going to take to achieve your goal. Also, identify when you need to take those actions. Once you're clear as to these pairings, come up with possible problems that may appear. Create if-then statements pairing what setbacks may possibly happen and how you plan to deal with them. Step number 2. Identify how you will deal with problems and lead them to your goal. In other words, don't just focus on getting around a problem that you did not anticipate. Make sure that the action that you plan to take does produce the outcome that you're looking for. In other words, everything must still lead to the goal, even the detours. For example, instead of saying, I'm going to lose weight, say, if it is 6 a.m., I'm going to take a jog. Now, nowhere in this if-then statement are you saying that you want to lose weight. But when you repeat this over and over again, it becomes obvious. You have a cue, which is a time in the morning, and an action that leads to your goal. When you run or jog in the morning, you are more likely to lose weight. Step number 3, be as clear about the obstacles as possible. Come up with a long laundry list of the things that could go wrong. Next, prioritize your list in terms of probability. Step number 4, reform your if-then statements with the obstacles in mind. Make sure the workarounds still lead to your goal. Step number 5, be as specific as possible. It's not enough for you to prepare a backup plan when an unforeseen event happens. It's very important to be as specific as possible regarding the action you need to take and how it leads to your goal. The clearer you are in terms of your backup action, the more powerful and intentional the backup plan becomes. Before you know it, no curveball or unforeseen situations will throw you off from your plan. Don't just simply make goals and hope for the best. That doesn't work. Focus instead on if-then statements that help you deal with reality as your plans unfold.